It is a midweek moment right here on a BWF, and so good to be back with you and just be able to share with you this morning. So something that I always, a story that it's funny. At the time, I must say it was funny, but a little later on, after realizing exactly what went down, it's like, oh my word, did I really do? Did we really just do that? So I remember way, way, way back, and this is like really ages ago. Myself and my colleagues, we were like, just gonna play a prank on one of the guys, and that was just something just for fun. So one of the guys just walked into work, and we were like, "Hey, like, how you doing, buddy? Are you okay?" And he's like, "No, no, I'm cool. Yeah, like, everything's fine. What's up, or whatever." And then so my one colleague said, "But you don't look too good, man. Are you sure you're okay?" So I was like, "Yeah, man." Something is not right. Are you sure you're feeling okay? And each person that he went past, they were like, "You're looking a little bit pale," and what's up? And that's how they went through until he got to where his office. Eventually, like not long later at all, he then said, "Hey guys, bye. I'm gonna go home. I'm not feeling well at all. I'm really feeling sick, and I have to go home." He was then booked off, I think, for like 3 days or whatever, when he was sick. So it was kind of crazy because we actually all just laughed about it because when he came, I promise you, he was fine. Wasn't anything wrong with him at all. But because each of us asked him, "Are you sure you're okay? You don't look too good. You're looking a little bit sick." All of a sudden, he was sick. That's kind of weird, right? So I remember at the time we laughed. We thought, oh, okay, this is a funny or whatever. But later on, I realized that it's interesting because he wasn't sick at all until he started to believe that he was sick. So that kind of just always stuck with me. I'm not sure about you, but whenever I want to buy something or if I like something, I'm like, okay, I really want to get this. All of a sudden, I start seeing it absolutely everywhere. Like everywhere I look or turn, maybe it's a car that you like, and you're like, red cars everywhere, or it's a pair of shoes that you like, and like everyone's wearing these shoes all of a sudden, right? Why though? Do you think that maybe everybody in the world just all of a sudden has the same taste like yours? Isn't it strange though? You just start seeing these things everywhere. So I always kind of wonder, what changed? Did everyone's taste buds change to mine? Or really, what changed? It's your attention that's really changed. Your attention has changed to what you started to see. And in your mind, basically, your mind started to find and sort of search for what you're seeing. So every time, everywhere you looked, your mind started to see for that pair of shoes that you actually wanted. You started to pay more attention to what you were looking for. I know that I say this a lot, but I really believe it, right? Our mind is amazing. Our mind will always gather evidence to prove what we believe in. So whether it's something negative that you believe in, your mind's going to gather that. Whether it's something positive, it's going to gather that. So if you believe in the negative or in the worst, if you allow the enemy's lies to just take root in your mind, in your brain, it's going to start to gather the evidence to prove that what you believe is actually right. And before you know it, you're going to end up overwhelmed and hopeless. And that is exactly what the enemy wants you to do. He wants you to keep your mind so occupied on the negative that you don't have the capacity and the strength to focus on what God is saying. 2 Corinthians 3 verse 5 says, For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they are divine power to demolish strongholds. So we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive of every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Every thought that we have has to come in obedience to Christ. It has to come in submission to Him. So, what is Paul really saying here? I believe he says we have to hold on to the thoughts and we have to submit it to God. And we have to come to a place where we can surrender our mind and our thought life to God before the enemy starts to go crazy in our minds and before we start to believe what the enemy is saying. But instead, we can start to believe what God says about the life and your situation that you're currently in. Start to believe what the words of God, what God's words are saying, and not the words of the enemy. And start to hold on to the promises of God because His word is full of those promises. And that is something that our mind can gather the evidence on as well. So be blessed.